Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby. I'm with Fitness is Medicine. Today I'm going to give you a great workout you can do with just a couple tools. We're going to use a tube that you can use for 2 different exercises and a ball if you have one. If you don't have a ball, you can do it on a chair or on the floor, but that's it. If you want to grab a dumbbell, you can do one of the exercises with body weight or with a dumbbell, so I'll show you that option as well. So we're going to start with push-ups today. So quick reminder that you can do push-ups in a variety of intensities or levels. Starting with the wall or a countertop push-up is a great way to work on your perfect form with the push-ups. Exact same form, exact same body mechanics. It's just different levers, shorter levers, right? So, and different gravity. So gravity is involved in different planes of motion here. So you can start on a countertop, maybe move down to a bench. If you're ready to do the floor, you can do it on your knees or on your hands. If you want to try a few on your toes, if you want to try a few on your toes and then drop to your knees, that's another great way to do it. So you can kind of level it up or level it down depending on where you're at. And if you've been doing it one way for a long time, maybe try the next level up or level down, however you look at it. But if you've only been doing them at the countertop, maybe try it on your knees. You might surprise yourself, or try it on a bench, so just a little bit further down. So you're up here on the counter and then a little bit further down on the bench and then ultimately on the floor. If you never get to the floor, it's okay. Keep pushing yourself. Even if you're at the counter, if you bring your feet back a little further, it will be a little harder as well. So feet closer is easy, feet further back, harder. Okay, so regardless of where you're at, let's do 10. If you do the floor and you want to do 20, that's great, go ahead. I'm gonna start on my toes and do an example of where you could drop to your knees halfway through. All right, so remember your hands are directly beneath your shoulders, straight down, don't lead with your head. 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're getting tired and you want to drop to your knees, nothing changes. You're still dropping straight to the floor, and 10. Good. So your knees drop, but your hips stay flat. I've seen a lot of people do push-ups like this, where they've kind of got their knees too close. So keep your knees here so your body is straight, your hips are flat. Okay, good. So now we're going to stand up again. Once you've been on the floor and you want to stand up, come up slowly, let your blood pressure regulate, and then slowly stand up. This is where you can grab a weight or a kettlebell or something if you would like, or a medicine ball, a small medicine ball. You don't have to. If this is we're going to do side lunges, which we've done in the past, but I'm going to show you a little bit different. We're going to do an opposite recovery. So let me lift this up just a little. Another great place to start is at the counter, so you can start really close to the counter and sit back. A lot of times people do lunges and they want to kind of go forward over that toe. When you do a lunge, you want to be able to see your toe. So you sit back still, okay? So doing them hanging onto the kitchen counter or sink and sitting back is a great way to ease into these. You're still getting the full benefit of the lunge. You're just getting a little assistance with your form. Okay, so I am going to use a weight today. So we're going to do a side lunge, but I want to do an opposite recovery. So I want you to come up over that foot. So you're lunging to this side, pull up to that side. Many times what we do is we start in the center, we go out, we come back to center, we go out. So I want you to go out to the side, pull up to that side. If you're using a weight, you can reach down, just switch hands, reach down over that opposite toe. But notice that my back is still staying tall or flat, so that when I go out to the side, my back is flat, my head is, I'm trying to keep my chest high, pull up to that side that you lunge towards. Don't bend at your back like this. Keep that core nice and tight. Pull up to that side. So you're working those adductors and glutes a little bit differently with this different recovery here. One more each side after this. If this is really challenging for you, you can do a smaller range of motion. So instead of going really deep, you could just do here. All the mechanics stay the same though. You want to reach out to the side, hips back. Like I'm going to sit down into a chair back here. And then this leg stays straight. So out to the side, back. Even if you're doing a small range of motion, everything still stays in the same body mechanics. Okay, great. Now we're going to do arms. So we'll do a triceps extension. So I've got my tube set up over here on a higher setting. Similar to yesterday or the last video where we did a lat pull. Now we're going to do a triceps extension. So the difference here is my elbows are bent and stuck in my sides. So the only joint moving here are my elbows. My shoulder joint isn't going to move. So I'm going to keep my lats out of it and isolate my triceps. So you could do this in a tandem stance, or you could keep your feet, wide, depending on how you're feeling here. But a little tandem stance is a good challenge. Nice and tall, shoulders down, straight down. So bringing those handles out to the side. Now, if you have a machine and you use like a rope, I like using a rope for this one because it helps you straighten those arms all the way up to the side. Now, only moving your elbows here. Don't come forward here because then you're starting to engage your lats. You're not going to hurt yourself, but we really want to isolate your triceps here. Keep breathing. Keep your core nice and tight. And one more, nice and slowly. Good. Okay, we're going to stay right here. I've got another tube set up, but you can use the same tube. You're not going to, if you don't have the setup where you've got a couple things going here. If you have a way to move your band down to about chest height, this is about hip height, but straight out in front of you, we're going to do some side twists. So feet wide, hips back just a little bit, knees bent. So more of an athletic stance, like you're ready to move, versus a squat. We're not going to be in a squat, just hips back just a little, core engaged, knees bent. And we're going to twist to the side. So our arms are out in front, and we're going to twist over to one side, back and forth. Keep your back nice and tall, keep your tummy engaged. Shoulders down, keep breathing. 5. Kind of just shifting your weight side to side a little bit, keeping those knees bent. 9, 10, and 10. All right, good. Finished with the tubes for today. Okay, now we're going to grab the ball and we're going to do some oblique work, so side abs. One way you can do this when you're sitting on the ball, you can put your feet up against a wall so that you don't slide. So I'm going to have you sit kind of up on the edge of the ball, put your heels out like this. Your knees are bent a little bit, so nothing straight. I rarely want you to keep, like something locked out. Here, again, always think about tipping at the hips, not letting this happen. Not letting your back kind of pooch out, because that's really hard on those discs and really hard on all these muscles back here. Keeping your tummy and your back muscles engaged. And a way to do that is to envision if someone was going to punch you in the gut, kind of like a sucker punch, like boom, you would immediately tense up, right? So think about that tense up that you would do if somebody were to come. Nobody's going to do that, obviously, but that's a good way to envision tightening up. So we're gonna do side abs. So what I want you to do is we're gonna start in the center here. Put your hands here or here, and we're gonna pull up side to side like this. So you're gonna kind of come into a diagonal, like if I was gonna put my shoulder over my opposite knee. Now, if you feel like your feet are sliding, you can do this up against a wall. You're not gonna change the intensity. You're not gonna make it any easier or harder. It just keeps you from sliding if you feel like that's happening. You want to be able to stay in one spot. We're going to go 10 times to each side. Now, if you're feeling like this is really difficult, you can put your hands here and maybe reach out to one side like this. You're reaching along your thighs, then you kind of have that support. If you're feeling like this is not that difficult and you want to put your hands over your head, you're lengthening that lever. So you can challenge yourself anywhere along that. So do 10 to each side. And the other thing that I forgot to mention is when you come up, don't come all the way up. You're going to lean back and then come partially up. And notice I'm in the center here, but still here. You don't want to come up here. Then your abs lose that engagement. So you want to keep them engaged throughout so that you're only coming partially up. As soon as you come all the way up, they get to relax. So you really need to, maybe halfway through, come up once and then go back to only halfway through, that type of thing. Okay, great. Now we're going to do another balance exercise. So what I want to do is a little bit of ball work with, I didn't mention this in the beginning, you don't have to use a ball. You can use just your hands coming forward and together. But we're going to do a tandem stance, and I want you to bring that ball in front of you and then behind you. So like I said, if you don't have anything, I didn't mention this at the beginning of the video, forward and then behind. Grab it each time. Now, if this feels really easy to you, try it in a single leg stance. And now switch sides. Switch the way you're going. Now, if that still feels easy, watch the ball. Follow it as it goes. Obviously, you can't see it behind you, but follow it with your eyes. That changes your proprioception. Let's switch feet or put your other foot in front with the tandem stance. If this is really challenging, you could do a staggered stance or even just a really narrowed stance, because a narrowed stance is much harder to balance than, having your feet wider apart. Okay, so other foot or other foot in front. The other thing you can challenge yourself on is standing on a balance pad or a pillow, or even roll up your yoga mat and stand on it, lengthwise. Give yourself a little bit of extra balance challenge. Now we'll switch which way you're changing the ball side to side. Like I said, if you don't have a ball, you could use a pillow or just a golf ball or a water cup even. It doesn't matter. Obviously, probably not a full one. And then do each of these for about 30 seconds. So if adding the ball is just way too much, just work on holding the tandem stance. That's okay. Or work on holding a single leg stance. If that's really your biggest challenge, then don't add the ball. But if you want more challenge, add the ball, add the looking at the ball, add the standing on something unstable. So you could do it in the grass. That would be a good place to practice because the grass is more uneven than your hardwood floor or your carpet. But find ways to challenge yourself and make sure you're doing it in a safe way. All right, so go ahead and go through these a couple more times. Add a little cardio, add your stretches at the end, make it a good full workout. If you only have time to do it once through, that's okay. It's best always to do something. Always better to do something than nothing. So congratulations on being here and following through and getting it done for yourself. Okay, thank you so much. We will see you next time. Keep moving. All right, bye-bye.